Are you the big boss at your firm? Or are you the staff member that has to deal with that pesky boss? Either way, the most recent episode of Making Conversations Count is a must listen. Wendy spoke with Jay Guilford, and he wasn't clowning around. You'll get the pun if you've listened to the episode. Jay's worked with some of the biggest Fortune 500 bosses on the planet, so he knows a thing or two about getting results through leadership. Every weekend, Wendy and I like to get together and have a little bit of a deep dive into the conversation and just discuss our takeaways. And Jay provided quite a lot of food for thought, as you'll know if you've heard the episode.
Lying is not necessarily morally wrong. It's a protection mechanism. It's like, if I say the truth, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble.
By all means, stop playing this now and go back and listen, and then come back and decide for yourself if you agree with our takeaways from the episode, as we're carrying on the conversation about leadership training.
Cirque Du Soleil, I've seen it a couple of times. The first time I went was actually in Birmingham, and we were taken on a roller coaster of emotions because it is clowns, it's storytelling, it's juggling acts, it's acrobats, it's daring endeavours of the body, and all visual colour, whilst there's a band and there's singing going on, and it's so theatrical. And the storytelling does take you on that emotional roller coaster that you are absolutely busting your sides laughing to crying at the sadness of it all, and then bringing you back up again. It's kind of like, it was exhausting, but to be able to pull off that kind of visual feat and to take you on such an experience takes so much planning, preparation. You've got to really be in the zone yourself. You know, if one person's not quite on their game that day, you know, it could just end in a heap, which is then not a great experience for the audience. So when Jay started to sort of talk about, you know, his role there in terms of the leadership of working with a bunch of clowns, really intriguing. Where do you start? Because they're just masks with people behind them.
It clearly gave him some quite unique training in that, you know, I think that's quite interesting in that, you know, the situations where things can get quite heated, and, you know, when you're a clown or a trapeze artist hanging 70 feet in the air, you don't have time for heated moments where, oh, you didn't grab for my hand correctly, or you didn't do this correctly, or whatever, and now I'm really angry about it. And yet that's exactly what he had to face with the chap. He told the story, didn't he, about the chap that didn't take too kindly to him being brought in to offer the leadership training, which ended up with him being emotionally bruised. And what was really interesting to me was obviously that skill set that he's developed over time of dealing with a large team of different emotions and high pressure. And he was able to go take stock and go, oh, you know what? Quick sip of water, go back in there and tackle it from a different approach. And that, for me, just really sums up that you cannot judge a book by its cover. Everyone's got their own backstory that brings skills that are unique to a situation. And that, for me, was quite powerful stuff, really.
He talks about not being able to achieve anything from the comfort of your armchair. So in actual fact, that whole experience of, I guess he felt like he'd been knocked off the ladder a few rungs and left the room kind of subservient to, well, they must be right, to then have that chat with himself. And these are the important conversations, aren't they? When you have that chat with yourself and you go, do I accept that? Is it true? And if the answer is no, you have to address it. And the quicker you can address it, I think the less damage it does to you in terms of your ego and beliefs. And that's exactly what he did. It was kind of like being in a car crash and coming off a motorbike and then going, well, I'll get back on the motorbike then. It's fine.
These are very unique people. It's like Doctor Strange, isn't it? In Doctor Strange, when he pushes the person and they leave their own body and they're able to assess everything from outside of their own body. That is a unique skill to be able to give to yourself, I think. Incredibly interesting character. And anybody that hasn't listened to that episode yet, I strongly suggest you go back and listen to it at makingconversationscount.com/episodes with Jay Guilford. Really quite an incredible... And do you know what? When I first saw the headline of who Jay was, I thought, well, this is going to be unique. I'm not sure where this one's going to go. But yeah, one of my all-time favourites, that one.
He's been very, very generous with me as well. And we got chatting after, as we do. We carry on the conversation after. We go, oh, you're happy with that? That was a really great conversation. I wasn't expecting that and this sort of thing. And Jay kind of said, Wendy, I've looked and, you say you're a speaker, but you're not actually on any of the speaker platforms. So yet another guest who has inspired me to go, well, yeah, actually. So it's like saying, oh, yeah, I want a cup of coffee and then waiting for somebody to bring it, but you've not told anybody, bring me coffee, isn't it? I keep coming back to this coffee analogy. He was very, very generous and he gave me, we set up another chat and he helped me with the framework of, what people would be looking for. So, of course, that framework is now done, complete, turned around and I went, Jay, how is this look? And he was like, yeah, great, but make it all about Wendy Harris. That's your focus. That's the only thing. That's my only observation. Great. And I was just like, thank you very much. So, he's helped me as well. So I would just say, he's got some great insights having been there.
So there we are. As you heard, Wendy and I both took quite a bit of inspiration from that episode with Jay Guilford talking about leadership. If you've enjoyed the content, please do us a favour, leave us a review in Apple Podcasts. It'll take you just a couple of seconds and it's really easy to do. Just look for the section on the page that says ratings and reviews. Click the leave a review button and write in a few words, letting us know who you are and the name of your business if you like. Wendy reads those out on her main podcast every week. On the next episode, we're taking things very highbrow. We've got an actual professor joining us.